Chris, coming back from the Bahamas, what has practice been like for these last few days?
We've got a lot to work on. We took a tough loss against Iowa, and unfortunately, it snowballed. And you don't, in those quick turnarounds, you don't have a whole lot of time to self-correct. And things that started to turn for the worse, we just could not get it turned around in a 2-day period. So. We're just trying to get better in every single area. Offensively, we turned the ball over way too much down, in the Bahamas, and I think that was really probably our downfall. We just were very, very inefficient on offense. We have good enough players and talented enough players to be better than that with the ball, and to be a team that can score without turning the ball over. And again, I think that was our downfall down there.
Do you think that was a product of the fatigue, just playing in such a
Well, every team's tired, especially the ones that we played, because Iowa, we come in just as fresh as them. We played Tennessee. They lost as well, and they played late. And then by the time we played USC on Saturday, they had lost 2 in a row as well. So fatigue is something that is very relative, in my opinion. That didn't really have anything to do. Now, mentally, we probably caved, and made poor decisions again with the basketball. And when you do that, it's hard to keep a team out of transition. And that's where USC really took it to us.
How much do you think that rebounding played a big role in the last 2 games in particular, especially with Tennessee and the way they were able to clean the offensive glass?
Well, Tennessee's a huge challenge. I don't care who plays them. They're a darn good team, and they're huge. And we were not up for the challenge, and it's disappointing. But sometimes you have to go through some rocky times in order to get the ship steered in the right direction. And again, a short turnaround. We just didn't have what it takes at this point in time in the season to get those things corrected and play well enough to win. You give Tennessee a lot of credit. This experience is something that our team has to learn from.
D had a really rough stretch of 3 games. He was 1 for 15. What did you think of his shot selection? Was he shooting too much, did you think, instead of passing?
He just has to make the right decision. I thought he took some very, very ill-advised shots. We've talked about that. And, for a junior point guard, he has to make better decisions. And when he doesn't, our team plays like it did down in the Bahamas. And he's not the catalyst or the only guy that is is going to affect his teammates, but he's a big part of that when you're the point guard, when you have the ball in your hands, when you're running the show. And he's much better than he played down south, but he did not have a good tournament, and he's very well aware of that. He's got to get it turned around.
Not just him, but because of his struggles, do you think that's why maybe you guys had trouble scoring in the half court at times?
We had trouble for a number of reasons. Again, I think our biggest problem was we couldn't play offense without turning the ball over. We could not get stops in a couple of the games, and we're at our best in transition. It doesn't mean we can't score in the half court, but we have to be able in the half court to get the ball inside. We did not do that well enough in those 3 games to come out with victories.
What was the mood or the feel of the team? I know you didn't make the trip back with the team, but just in general, maybe just these last couple of days, are they excited to get off this losing tonight, or what's their feel?
Well, they're disappointed, but nobody's going to feel sorry for us. That's been our message. I think our players understand that, but it's one thing to understand it and one thing to get over it. We have used these last few days to get better, and that's the mark of any season, how much you continue to improve. Nobody wanted to go through the adversity that we went through down there, but we did, and that's our story, and we're going to have to change it, use that outcome as a learning lesson. And if we don't learn lessons from it, we don't correct some of the things that we made mistakes on, then it'll repeat itself. But I'm confident in our group. I think we have what it takes to be a very successful team.
Have you looked at Bowling Green yet?
I have.
And what are your impressions of them?
They're big. They're at times they'll play 4 guys 6'7" or taller. That's not necessarily their normal lineup, but their 4s and 5s are Big East 4 and 5s. And so we're going to have a challenge on the glass. Bowling Green is at their best when they're in transition. They've turned teams over. They do a great job in ball screen defense. So it's it's another challenge. I'm more concerned about our team and how we respond after the trip from the Bahamas than I am with Bowling Green. With all due respect to those guys, our concern is inward.
Another issue that we've talked about a lot this season is free throw shooting, and I think 55% in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys shoot extra free throws. Is there anything else you're doing now to kind of fix that?
I'm just going to keep saying the same thing over and over. We're working on it. When a couple guys' percentages are low, your team's going to be low, especially when they're the ones that are shooting the most free throws. But nobody spends more time on it than our team, and that's really all I'm going to say. Other than that, it's just continuing to work on it in practice, shooting with the right technique. Hey, we miss them in practice sometimes too. I mean, it's not like we're going 100 for 100 and stepping game night and can't make one. I mean, we struggle in practice as well. And we have great coaches on our staff and guys that are trying to instill confidence in the proper form and mechanics. But, a lot of things are inherently learned over time. And, we're just I think we need a couple of them to go in, and so it doesn't become a virus, but we'll get there.
Eric Stenger, is he closer to playing? Maybe?
He's closer to playing, but I don't foresee Eric playing for 2 to 3 weeks or so. Fortunately, it wasn't anything that, anytime you hear the word blood work and you get a little nervous. But Eric's fine. I don't know the technical term for it, but he's got a very aggravated stomach. He's on medication now. He's going to be fine. But he's also going to be out until his blood gets to where it needs to be.
So he can't practice right now?
No physical activity right now.
And Landon's off crutches now. I know that you gave an update just like last week, but any closer for him? Any other?
Well, I'd say he's closer, but that goes without saying. It's not an immediate close. It's not like he'll be suited up for Bowling Green. He's got a ways to go before he's able to play in games.